we're going to be talking about when the brain is on fire. So that's exactly what PANS and PANDAS is. It at its core, it's an autoimmune neuroencephalitis. If the trigger is strep, we call it PANDAS. If the trigger is something else, so maybe a different bacteria, maybe a virus, then we call it PANS. So it's an abrupt, acute, dramatic onset. They're afraid they might choke. They're afraid that their food is contaminated, which would include separation anxiety from parents or other close family members, be motor or sensory abnormalities. So one of the cases that I talked about in the beginning was an acute onset fear of glass. And they will often talk about having deja vu. We also see a loss of academic skills. So the sensory amplification that we've talked about. All right. Obsessions and compulsions are very common. We also have a lot of kids who will hoard. So vocal tics, motor tics. We also see kids who generally their pupils are like dinner plates. They're just huge. Kids will talk a lot about pain. So most kids are misdiagnosed with a variety of things. Often it's psychiatric because, to be fair, some of these symptoms really do look psychiatric. If you have a child who has strep throat, do not hesitate to give antibiotics. We also see tick-borne pathogens. Mold toxins are huge. So I generally start with this first list, a CBC and a CMP. We always look at vitamin D. We always look at a lipid panel also. We also look at iron and TIBC. Often we'll do immunoglobulins. The autoimmune brain panel was formerly called the Cunningham panel. It is the gold standard for insurance coverage, though, for PANS and PANDAS. The first straws that we often see are pretty significant deficiencies, things like low cholesterol, low iron, low vitamin D. We will see things like mitochondrial dysfunction, so kids who aren't great at turning their food into energy inside the cell. That is the cornerstone, really, of what we look for first. Is right. If it's bacterial trigger, antibiotics are the right way to go. Sometimes things like steroids are really helpful too. Email me anytime if you're interested in making an appointment. And her email, I'm putting it in the chat, is brittany@covenantwellness.net. We have a great deal of experience working with these kids. So if you're concerned and you feel like you need help, definitely reach out.